Hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite. Yep, that's me, I guess. I'm a big atheist hypocrite because this lady says so, and her reasons are outstanding. Never mind that the atheist part of a person who says they're atheist purely is about belief in a god. Nothing else is related to atheism, and yet we're about to find out why we're big old hypocrites. Stick around for this one. It's going to be a lot. Hello, I'm the Skeptic, the British floating circle that watches people make extraordinary claims, and then I explain why I don't accept what they're saying. Rachel Myrie is a TikToker who posts religious and ever so slightly anti-LGBTQ videos, and has a YouTube channel that essentially does the same. She has a video with evidence for why atheists are the biggest hypocrites. I can only imagine that these atheists she talks to aren't really atheists, because the only way I can see this make any sense is with folks saying they don't believe in a god, but actually they do. With evidence for it, I don't know. However, before we discover how hypocritical atheists are, if this isn't your first Skeptic video, hit the like, the subscribe and the bell to prove that the algorithm does work after all. And a super thanks to those that hit super thanks in some recent videos. Fred Harvey and Kevin. Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe bestows leaves upon you. More hen. Now, I don't want to sound hypocritical, but I believe that this video might be ridiculous.
So today we're going to be revisiting if you're an atheist, or what happens when you question an atheist or question evolution.
Well, they're not related, but whatever.
And my favorite part about the whole thing is atheists will always say, question everything, be skeptical. Unless it's evolution or atheism in general.
Well, you can't really be skeptical of not being convinced of something, which is what atheism is. And given the tons of supporting evidence that means evolution is undeniable, you can't really be skeptical of that either. It would be like being skeptical that the Earth is round, despite how easy it is to show that it actually is round, and not flat like the flurfs suggest.
And this was a video in question. This was a video, in fact, that got me death threats, ironically. And it wasn't because of what I said, it was what I asked.
Well, it's that you get death threats. That's never okay. But how is it ironic?
Now, I wanted to point out that this video was actually uploaded to TikTok in 2022. So it's been a couple years now. And that's one of the reasons I haven't really gone back to talk about it. I uploaded this video to YouTube and got quite the response. And not the typical response that I got on here that I was expecting. Now, everything I'm about ready to say in this video is based off the evidence or data from this particular video, which was uploaded to YouTube in 2023, I believe. So it was on YouTube for about a year, and I've been getting constant notifications on people constantly commenting on this video.
I'd just like to point out that those sound effects aren't my doing, and I'm not entirely sure why they're there. But we should try and stick with it, because this lady has a lot to say.
And I'm going to say this before I say what I really want to say. And that is that not all atheists are complete hypocrites. Not all. But generally speaking, most atheists are the biggest hypocrites. You guys are the biggest hypocrites.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why atheists, in my opinion, are the biggest hypocrites is because what do we always hear from atheists? Like, we hear it time and time again. Don't judge anybody for what they believe.
WTF? What atheists say that? Atheists usually say, I don't believe in a god. Now I say, and this has nothing to do with my atheism and more my anti-religion, hate the belief, not the believer. A lot like, love the sinner, hate the sin, or whatever the saying is.
Respect each other's beliefs and religion. You should respect other people's beliefs and religions.
Yeah, sure. Respect when people are convinced their religion says that terminating a pregnancy is wrong, or that if you don't believe in a god, you should be put to death.
And you shouldn't, threaten them or, say they should be deleted. I mean, that would be wrong, right? And I gotta add that after looking at over 14,000 comments from you guys, the atheists yourselves that you left, I was really shocked how so many of you self-proclaimed genius atheists couldn't even follow directions. And I'm saying that because you can see it in the comments, so I'm going to show you here in a little bit. It was very simple. I asked two childlike questions. Like, I didn't even go hardcore into hard questions. We went very simple. And the first question was, if you're an atheist, why don't you believe in God? So if you were an atheist, you should answer that.
Okay, easy. I haven't been convinced by the existence of any of the gods that people believe in. None of the arguments presented give me a reason to accept that there is a god, and so I don't believe in any. Well, except for Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, leave be upon her. That is the only god I can believe in.
The second question was, if you don't believe in the Bible because you say it's written by man, why do you believe in evolution? Because that was invented by a guy.
Evolution wasn't invented. It was discovered and explained. Regardless of whether Darwin was the one to give the best explanation for what can be observed, evolution would still have existed. And there's so much evidence to support it that it would be stupid to not accept it. The fossil record showing change in earlier species, similarities in related life forms, geographic distribution of related species, and recorded changes throughout generations of living organisms.
I think. And I was also surprised how many people totally didn't catch that end satire. It went right over their heads.
Because it's not satire. Obviously, love. It's you not understanding explanations of processes.
So the last question was, if you were an atheist who didn't believe in the Bible because you said it was written by man, which there are quite a few of you out there, and I've got the comments.
Hang on. Are you saying the Bible isn't written by man? Even if it was the inspired word of a god, it would still have been written by man. And, well, you know, we know who the authors are. And they're all men.
You were supposed to answer that question. So instead of having people follow directions and answer the questions that applied to them, we had like 3 or 4 things happen. And the first thing that happened here within the comments was, instead of answering the question, people just straight went to personal attacks and insults and saying I should be KO'd or deleted. That was the first thing that happened. And we're going to go through some of these comments right now. And I think that spoke volumes. And I've had numerous people say to me, you should delete this video, which I'll show you those comments.
Whoa, whoa. I know I have whoosh sounds on my videos, but these sound effects are just annoying. I know that has nothing to do with the video, I just had to get it off my chest.
Because this is embarrassing for you, and I would say, no, actually, it's embarrassing for you guys, because it shows how hypocritical you are, and that if someone asks a question you don't like, you just simply insult them.
How's that being hypocritical, lady? Are you okay?
And you say horrible things, which I'm used to by now. I get it all the time from the left. But you really do need the comment section for that video on YouTube just to see how atheists really operate. What they say is one thing compared to what they actually do. So here is probably my #1 comment. Kindly put her down like Old Yeller. She is dragging your religion's okay name. Okay, so we're going to look at probably a good handful here, and there's over 14,000 comments, so you can read them yourself if you're interested. And these are just over the span of over a year. So it says, okay, students, this is why education is so important, and don't bunk classes to watch videos like this. Parents, please don't let your kids do drugs, or else you will get a thing like this. As a Muslim, I could smell stupidness from 5 shorts up. Now, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but since I've had all these proclaimed genius atheists tell me how smart they are, which we're going to show here in a minute, I did notice that a good percentage of them couldn't even spell basic words, like this example here. He put above. It should be above. A-B-O-V-E.
Not that I think it matters, but they just said they were a Muslim. Bloody hell.
I hate to be a jerk, but hey. And then we had this one. If you're an atheist, why don't you believe in God? Exactly the blank and point made.
I mean, that is funny, though, because if they did believe in a God, they wouldn't be an atheist. Is this whole video just going to be a rant? Because I'm not seeing anything hypocritical yet.
I got a lot of these, too, like trying to dance around what I was asking and make that seem stupid. And it was just a basic question. You know, why? What made you that way? What made you not believe in God? That's all it was.
Some people were just never taught about a God. So in those instances, nothing made them that way. My floating circle baby won't be taught that there's one true deity, and hopefully will be taught to think critically about things, so chances are he won't ever be anything other than atheist, so no becoming there.
And somebody put, she's the reason why there's instructions on shampoo. This is why you need a brain. Who's going to tell her? Bless her heart. Wow, just wow. I feel dumber just looking at her. Failed the girlfriend test. Next. And I want to talk about this really quick because I've never experienced this from men. I notice they're all from men. I received so many insults about my looks and my intelligence from all these men. And I just want to say it was kind of weird for me because in real life, I don't get insulted. I have men hold the doors open for me when I go to the store. They're always friendly and they talk to me. I've never really had a bad experience with a man before. I've never been insulted by one until I posted the short online, which it was just kind of weird how online is so different than real life.
Sure, and some of those comments are a bit crappy, but not doing something you asked for doesn't make a person a hypocrite. And not once have we had any reason to accept a God. And even, though it's nothing to do with being an atheist, but you brought it up, not to accept evolution.
And how really it just shows you that you could just say whatever you want to people online nowadays. Now we're going to jump into the self-proclaimed genius atheists and how they told me multiple times in the comment section about how they're so smart and anybody who believes in religion is simply a dummy. And this guy, Tom Smith, should retitle this, "Let me prove my blank level is barely over affinity."
Didn't you just say about a Muslim being an atheist and spelling something wrong? You can't pronounce infinity right, love. Infinity, not affinity.
And my favorite, once again insulting anybody who doesn't agree with what they believe in, says this poor education level seems typical for most U.S. Christians. And GZ, apparently a big fan of my channel, because he's always on it, says especially in the South.
Nope. They said especially in the South, not especially.
I have a question for you. When were you indoctrinated? Did you grow up to the age of 25 and 30 and then decide you wanted to be a blank and blank and believe in an evil God that has killed all of society multiple times and a God that allows 14,000 kids to die every single day while you weirdos scream pro-life? Or did some moron indoctrinate you when you were very young and you never were able to break free? I'll wait. So once again, I guess respecting everybody's beliefs and religions went out the window because, you say one thing and do the other.
When did Joshua D. Queen ask to not have their beliefs mocked? And to be fair, if someone came up to me and started laughing at me because I don't believe in a God, I wouldn't be offended. I have great reasons to not accept the existence of floaty sky wizards. If you get upset about people mocking God belief, it says a lot more about the lack of strength of your belief than you think.
And there's thousands of comments just like that. This is what happens when your IQ begins at the decimal point. Now, there are 344 people that like that. And this is what happens when the geniuses in my comment section don't answer the questions, the childlike questions I ask. Instead, they go straight to personal attacks. She got a see me after class on her IQ test. And then you had these comments, and this was so weird to me. I got so many of these copy-paste, I guess they're insults. It says she graduated from the McDonald's menu. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. 709 people liked that comment, and it said, edit, somehow, excuse me, this comment I thought of in 2 seconds has more likes than my videos have ever had, and those take days to make, LOL. Remember, kids, imagination does not equal education. This YouTube short has permanently lowered my standards for average human intelligence. And this one was out of left field. Recycled religious scene girl you'd find at a thrift shop. Okay.
Yeah, okay, mean. But so what? Pointing out how mean folks can be doesn't suddenly make a God exist.
You're not doing a good job at anything. Yo, Darwin didn't invent evolution, bruh. Once again, totally, missing the satire, I think.
It's not satire if it's not funny. Or if you're using it to prove a point.
She is the reason why teachers hate students asking questions. And my favorite comment right here, and I got lots of these, but I just want to talk about this one for just a second. Which God, Krishna or Buddha? Let me just say one thing. Pretending to be stupid doesn't make you look smart. I mean, after all, you guys have told me thousands of times in my comment section how smart you guys are, how you're geniuses, and, everybody else is just a moron. You don't speak the English language. A singular noun like God that is not preceded by a or the is a proper name.
Incorrect. The God of the Bible does indeed have a name, which was revealed through Hebrew scriptures. It's Yahweh, love. So Hannah here is well within their rights to ask for clarification, but it seems only you are allowed to ask questions. Which God? Since there are thousands to choose from.
So which one of those gods that you just rattled off is called God as a proper name? I mean, even if you're horrible at grammar, you would understand the context of our conversation, because I am a Christian, kind of gotcha moment. You literally have to pretend that you don't understand the grammar or the context. Before we get on to the next thing that happened in the comment section of that video, I want to discuss this really quick. I just want to point this out, because this is the whole reason I did this video. The many contradictions of atheists. An atheist will say, the God of the Bible is evil, but then they'll say morality is subjective. Religion spews lies, and it's wrong, but then they'll say morality is subjective, and truth is relative.
Doesn't change the fact that those statements are observably true.
Atheists make no claims, but then they'll say God does not exist. Evolution is a fact, But then they'll say there are no absolutes.
I'm not sure this list is applicable to all non-believers. Not all atheists say God does not exist.
Evolution is true, but then they'll say truth is relative. We don't claim to know how the universe came to be, but then they'll say the universe came from nothing, or another universe.
Actually, I think it's believers that say the universe came from nothing and a god magicked it from nothing.
Atheism is a lack of belief in God or God, which is my favorite one out of all of them. The universe doesn't require a creator. God is not real.
Statements not related. Next.
We don't believe in imaginary things. And my favorite, the whole reason I did that original video just to show you the hypocrisy of atheists. Bigotry and discrimination is wrong. Yet they mock and ridicule Christians. And you can go to that video and see it.
Wait. Why didn't you say abiogenesis after imaginary things? You have some very strange arguments, lady. And I'm not entirely sure it's bigotry to mock a belief. Yes, it's bigoted to hate the people. But I think, at least in my circumstances, I hate the belief, not the believers.
The second thing that happened in that video's comment section, which really surprised me. Suddenly, I was being accused of pushing my religion on people. So, atheists watched that video and suddenly started crying that I was pushing my religion. Let's revisit that video and see exactly what I really did. Because last I checked, I only asked 2 questions. Question for you. If you're an atheist, why do you not believe in God? And if you don't believe in God because you say the book is written by man, why do you believe in evolution? Because that was also made up by a guy, I think. And you can go through and you'll see a lot of other comments like this. Don't listen to people who try to force a religion or belief on you and other people. So suddenly, a good portion of atheists were now saying I was pushing my belief on other people. Now, we just looked at that video. Where did I push my beliefs? I was only asking 2 questions.
I'm going to agree. You didn't push your religion there, but you just have to go to your TikTok and the very first video you have pinned has you reading Bible verses.
So apparently you guys don't know the difference between asking a question and forcing your religion or your disbelief on other people. Before I show you the really revealing replies to that, I want to address one other thing because I've had a lot of people say this to me. They say, as a Christian, you should defend your beliefs, not challenge others. Let the fools challenge your faith due to pure insecurity and their own or lack thereof. I would even say no. I don't defend them against atheists. And the reason I don't defend is because they ask for proof and they define what the proof is. It's whatever they say is proof.
Nope. What usually happens is a believer says, this is the proof I have, and a non-believer says, well, I don't find that convincing. Do you have anything better? Nothing wrong with that, lady.
A lot of times, atheists will invite you to argue with them. And what ends up happening is you make argument after argument after argument, and they sit there and they go, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nope, you're wrong. So then you would say, well, provide me proof of what you're saying. And they would say, well, you can't prove a negative. I just lack belief, which is the famous line because it's how they get out of having to prove their position.
Well, maybe provide some evidence to demonstrate your God and we can go from there. Because I don't need to prove that I'm unconvinced. My unconvinced is proof enough of me being unconvinced. And it's very easy to shift the needle from don't believe it exists to believes it doesn't exist because none of the gods have ever met the burden of proof of their existence.
Which, reading these comments and looking at the ones I'm going to show you, you're going to see that there really is quite a strong belief and assertion. And so in their minds, they win. It doesn't matter what you say. So there's no point in debating an atheist. It's like playing chess with a pigeon. They knock over all the pieces, poop on the board, and then strut around like they won. There were some sane people in the comment section. And they said this is one person. I totally agree. Whatever your beliefs or lack of, this young lady deserves to present hers without the highly insulting personal attacks. And this atheist says religious people deserve to be insulted. It gets better though. Then it reads, it's because it's a pretty stupid question and it's not the gotcha that she thinks it is. And this person goes, yes, sir. And then another one goes, well, kids, some people are not meant to be respected from your fellow atheists, from their mouths, from their keyboards.
But mean atheists being mean doesn't disprove atheism. People from all walks of life aren't convinced of gods, and a lot of the time, folks who have recently deconverted have a lot of built-up anger from feeling lied to for a big chunk of their lives. And so they go through the angry atheist stage. Yes, that doesn't make it right, but at least understanding makes it easier.
And then the third thing that happened within that comment section was atheists literally telling me that no atheists say that they don't believe in the Bible because it was written by man. So literally saying things that just weren't true, ignoring the evidence.
What evidence? If the Bible wasn't written by man and was written by God, then that God isn't very clever or worth worshipping. It gets two versions of how it created stuff completely mixed up and has terrible rules for how to treat people, especially victims of rape. And if it was inspired by a god, then it was written by man.
Here's a prime example of this in the comments section. No one says they don't believe in a religion because it was written by a man. You sure about that? You're making a gross exaggeration which clearly shows you have no point to make. Is that 100% true, what you just said? Like, is there 100% proof?
To be honest, I don't know what you're talking about here, and I'm not entirely sure you do either.
Well, let's look at the evidence, shall we? Men wrote the Bible. Once you figure that out, please shut up. The Bible was written by man. Young lady, the Bible was written by man. Please use your brain. My favorite one. It is Bible written by man. Means it is absolutely nothing. Gee, so respectful and nice. Oh, but wait, we've got more. Christians are ruled by a book of stories compiled 2,000 years ago by men that accepted goats and camels as currency when selling their daughters. Anyone has written it's not a trustworthy source because it can change what they want because they are humans. A guy in my school said that the Bible is man-made. It makes sense now if you see all the mistakes and contradictions. It's also written by men. Nobody says that, huh? Okay.
Failing to see an issue here, but whatever.
And here it is again. You have to give it credit. Not a lot of people could make a video displaying their stupidity to the world. Another person says it's impressive. Like, nobody says it was because the book was written by a man. And somebody else says atheists do it all the time. If you ever hear an atheist say they just lack belief, they're neutral, go to my video, my YouTube short, and read the comments. The evidence there suggests otherwise.
Okay, so this was a whole load of ranting and nothing to display why atheists are hypocrites, and there's no display of gods existing or why evolution is wrong or any of that, so I just feel like she needed to get some anger off her chest and feel better. Hopefully it worked and she can maybe make a video on why atheists are stupid and are completely missing the totally obvious evidence. Though you may completely disagree and think that atheists are big old hypocrites, let me know in the section below. I'm going to skeptic this as one big rant that got us nowhere. A big thank you to this month's top level ticks on Patreon. Tamo, the Barely Bearable Atheist, George, Godless Granny, Addy Rockart, the Enixes, Jakari, Elizabeth, Whiskey Tech Fred, Rick and Travis, as well as all the $3 base ticks. You can become a supporter on Patreon too at patreon.com/theskeptic. The link is in the description, along with links to all my other socials. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.